Hey guys, this is Jessica Gutierrez with Clean With Me podcast. This is a podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together. Hey everybody, so today is going to be our first episode of our deep cleaning series. This is Jessica. If you're new here, what we do is we usually do hour-long cleans where we walk you through cleaning your house step by step, but we're going to start this new series that's basically just picking an area of your house and deep cleaning the area. And the goal of the series is that you do one deep cleaning or spring cleaning area of your house every day until you're all caught up, and then you can go back to our typical 1 hour episodes, and that's just to maintain your everyday. And then anytime you need a reset on the deep cleaning, you can go back to the series and revisit whatever area you're having trouble with. So that is why we're making this series. We're gonna post all of the different categories and our most popular episodes on cleanwithmepodcast.com. It's under construction, that part of the page, but you can still go there to check out cool recipes and stuff that my mom has already posted. She's been posting recipes, cleaning hacks, different stuff like that. And like I said, the page where we're going to have our most popular episodes by category is under construction. And hopefully that'll be up pretty soon on cleanwithmepodcast.com. But let's get right into it, guys. So first things first, like with any day, when we're getting ready to do a big project, I like to, for me at least, get ready in some capacity because that really helps me get in the cleaning mode. So I like lighting a candle and just like throwing my hair in a bun and putting some comfy but cute clothes on, something that makes me feel good about myself, because for some reason if I get ready, it just helps me be more productive because my brain is telling me that I'm getting ready for the day. So it just makes me more productive. I don't know the science behind it. It just helps me. Do whatever helps you to get going, get started, and maybe open a window, add some light in. Today I'm going to be talking about deep cleaning your kitchen though. So I'm going to do me and my mom are going to switch off doing different areas of your house until we have the whole house. And we're going to do a different part of the series. Today is kitchen. So first things first, when deep cleaning my kitchen, the first thing that I think about that comes to mind is my refrigerator. So let's go to our refrigerators and let's just start. First, get your trash can and bring it close to the refrigerator or a trash bag, whatever you prefer. And we will go to our refrigerator and just start taking out and setting on the counter anything that is expired. Start checking any expiration dates, any leftovers and containers that are ready to go and get cleaned out, anything like that. And let's just take it all out and put it on the counter. So start checking everything and put on one side all the stuff that is still good, still ready to go, not expired, or condiments, eggs, what have you, that are still good. And then in another pile, trash, anything that is expired, leftovers, what have you. If it could go directly in the trash, just throw it right on in the trash. You don't even have to put it in a pile. If it's filled with something or you're afraid it's going to be liquidy in the trash can, you can dump it out in the sink first and then throw it away. If it's a leftover dish, you can empty out the food in the trash can or outside or whatever you do with food. I don't know if you have a garbage disposal, you could do that. And then just put those dishes in the sink, and we'll get back to that in a moment. But right now we're just focusing on cleaning out the refrigerator. And the reason why we're setting all of the stuff that is still good and still within the expiration date period is we're going to wipe those things down, because sometimes our bottles, like for ranch, barbecue, etc., get kind of funky. So we're going to check all of those and just give them a quick wipe with a sanitizing wipe or a rag, before we put it back in the refrigerator. And we're going to give a thorough wipe down to the refrigerator once we get everything out. So just be getting everything out of your refrigerator and sorting it, throwing away anything that doesn't go. And once you've emptied a drawer out, say there's a bunch of produce in a drawer, you take out what's good, throw away what's not good, or put it in the backyard for compost or whatever it is you do with your garbage, fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And then once you have a drawer cleaned out, you can either wipe it down if it just has like a few crumbs in it. You can wipe it down with some Clorox wipes or some rag and a soapy water, hot, wet rag. Or you could take the drawer out completely and put it in the sink to be washed out. Up to you. Just whatever you would prefer. And then go on to cleaning the rest. And the same thing is going to go for every drawer, because it depends on what kind of refrigerators we have. Some of us have more drawers. Some of us have, more, I don't know, shelving. So once you clear off a shelf or a drawer, go ahead and do a thorough cleaning of that shelf or drawer, whether that be taking it out and putting it in the sink and cleaning it and drying it with a rag and putting it back, or just giving it a thorough wipe down in the refrigerator if it's not that dirty before we put anything back. And then as we clean a section of the refrigerator, we're going to put things back in. If it was already organized, then great. You can put things in the same way they were already in there. But if it was unorganized, then let's think of a smart way to organize our refrigerators. Put all of our condiments on one side, our butter on another drawer, our eggs in a different container. If you've got it like that and you can afford cute containers, maybe you could do that and put stuff in little cute containers and what have you, and make the fridge look even better. I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe down my bottles, my ketchup bottles, my mayonnaise, what have you. Make sure that they're clean underneath the lid as well. Just give a quick wipe down with a Clorox wipe, and then I'm going to put it back. And when I say Clorox wipe, I use the generic lemon scented ones just because they're cheaper and they smell good. But whatever you prefer to use, if you just use soap and water, that's fine too. If you prefer to use something else, whatever cleaner you prefer to use, you can use that. I'm just using those things because we're near food, so I don't want to spray anything. So I just like those little disinfecting wipes. So I'm going to, as I finish each shelving, like I said, put my stuff back in a organized manner after I've wiped down each container. And this is assuming that you got everything out of the refrigerator already and sorted them into piles. And if you need time, if I'm going too fast for you, if you need to pause and finish any task that I am talking about, feel free to do that, of course. Or if you want to continue to listen to me talk and then just restart it, that's fine too, whatever you would prefer, because I know I am moving a little bit fast because I want to get through the whole kitchen. And we're going to do the exact same thing to the freezer. Once you get past the refrigerator, we're going to move on to the freezer, throw away anything that's expired. We're going to sort things into piles, same exact song and dance. And then once you've cleaned out an area, you're going to wipe that down with a soapy hot wet rag or with a Clorox wipe, and if you can take stuff out, take it out. And we're going to thoroughly clean out the freezer as well, and then put things back in an organized manner, sectioning it off to where the main goal here is that everything is super easy to find. So where you want eggs and baking stuff in one section of the fridge, for example. We want all of our half and halves and creamers and whatever on another side of the fridge, all of our snacky stuff on one side of the fridge, our vegetables in one drawer, our fruits in another drawer, things of that nature. So just everything easy to find, everything easy to see when you first open up the fridge. You don't have to dig for anything, because if things aren't easily accessible, we're going to tend to dig for things, move things out of the place where they go, and then that's how your refrigerator will get messy quickly, and it'll undo all of the good work that we're doing now. So if you're still working on sorting out your refrigerator, then do that. I don't want to keep you from doing that. You can continue to work on that. If you are done with that and you had some, say, casserole dishes or something in the refrigerator that you emptied out and they're now in the sink, if you want to wash those really quickly and then put those away, you could do that at this time now, because we don't want to create more of a mess for ourselves. This is a deep cleaning episode, so this is extra. This is spring cleaning. This is, and like I said, the goal for this series is that if you do one normal, everyday, hour-long clean, and then one episode of our deep cleaning series a day, a different one each day, then you will be done with your house, in theory, and then everything will be caught up on, and your house will be nice and organized and easily accessible and beautiful again. So that's what we're creating this series for, and they will come out every Wednesday. But if you want to do one a week for now as they come out, then you could do that as well. If you want to wait for the entire series and then do it one a day, like later on, you could do that. And either way, whatever you want to do. I would suggest right now, as they're coming out, doing one every Wednesday and then listening to one of our previous 1 hour cleans on a daily. That way you can keep up with your house every day, and then once a week do a deep cleaning episode, whatever is doable for your lifestyle and the way you're living, because everybody has different schedules, different levels of availability and stuff like that. So whatever is easiest for you to do. And once you're done with the refrigerator, like I said, my refrigerator used to be the area that I typically neglected until I started this new thing where I talk about it in a lot of my episodes. So if you're an avid listener, you've heard this, but I started cleaning out my refrigerator every time I go grocery shopping. So before I go grocery shopping, I would clean out my refrigerator. That way, when I came back to put all of my new stuff that I bought in, I wouldn't have to do the cleaning then. So that has helped me to keep up with my refrigerator. But every once in a while we get behind. We don't do those things. And it was definitely time for a reset in my refrigerator. So this is for everybody that needed that reset. So like I said, if you need a pause, rewind, restart, that's up to you. I'm not going to judge. Everybody's cleaning journey is different. Everybody has different stages of life, different things that they need to focus on. But I'm going to move on to other areas of the kitchen now. So let's go ahead and move to the cabinets. I'm going to start with the junk drawer. Everybody has a junk drawer. If you don't know what that is, Southern folk have a junk drawer. If you are like me and you have a drawer that is in your kitchen that encompasses random stuff like chargers, miscellaneous batteries, pens, pencils, bills, junk of any sort, because now the junk drawer has gotten out of control and it is insane. Different areas in different places. I know we have listeners from all over, probably call it different things. But if you have a drawer with random miscellaneous things in your kitchen, let's go ahead and get that cleaned out right now. And that, I know for me, that took some time, because when I was planning this episode and I was deep cleaning my kitchen, let's just say my junk drawer was out of control. So whatever you call it, if you have one of those, just take a handful of things out at a time, lay them out. If you like keeping chargers or something in there, roll up the chargers and put them aside. Anything you're going to put back in the drawer, essentially, that was actually supposed to go there in the first place, put in one pile. Everything that is not supposed to go in the drawer that you're keeping, put in another pile. And everything that just needs to get thrown out, old bills, what have you, just throw those in the trash and just move the trash can over to the new area that you're working on. Put everything in piles and then just sort that out. Once you're done and everything's out of the drawer and in a pile, go ahead and wipe out that drawer with a Clorox wipe or a rag. Make sure it's nice and clean before we're putting anything back in, and then put it back in an organized manner. And we want as little as possible. So if everyone's different when it comes to, the miscellaneous drawer, if you will. So whatever you choose to keep in there that's supposed to be in there, go ahead and put that back in an organized way to where we can see everything that's in the drawer, and you're not going to have to dig for anything and then throw away everything that was trash or that you don't need anymore. If you haven't seen it in months and you don't need it, it's not something like batteries or scissors or something like that, just toss it. And then anything that goes in other areas of your house, go ahead and take that pile and put stuff away where it goes in the proper place. If you need to pause, rewind, that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and move on now to our pots and pan cabinets. So our pot and pan cabinet, again, same thing. When it comes to organizing, it's the same song, different dance. So we're going to go ahead and take all of doing one section at a time. You're going to take everything out of your cabinet that you keep your pots and pans in. If you have not used the pot and pan in a while, it's crumbling to bits. You've got a new set by now. This old pan you've had for years and you're never going to use it again. Throw it away. We're not going to keep anything that does not serve us anymore, that we don't use anymore. Just throw that away. This is a spring cleaning episode, so either donate or throw it away. We're going to have a pile of donation. Now, if you're like me and you have accumulated a lot of just junk that isn't necessarily junk that can be reused by somebody else, but it's something that no longer serves you, you might want to get a trash bag or a box and set that aside while you're doing your kitchen deep clean. That way you could put anything that's going to be donated into that box. Old pans that we no longer use, old muffin containers, cookie cutters, whatever it is that we don't have the matching set for anymore, that we have bought a new one and we're just keeping the old one for no apparent reason. Let's go ahead and put that in the donation box. If it's junk, throw it away. But again, we're just clearing out the cabinets and then we are going to sort them into piles. Stuff that we use on a daily basis, stuff that we use sometimes, like for parties, events, etc. And then stuff that we no longer use anymore that need to be donated or thrown away. Once everything is out, give a quick wipe down with a Clorox wipe or a rag of the now empty cabinets. And I know I'm going quickly because I want to cover the whole kitchen. So again, if you need to rewind, pause, or re-listen, that is fine. But I'm going to give a quick wipe down to the cabinets. And I'm just going over what I did in my kitchen because it needed a full overhaul. And I'm doing this along with you guys. You listeners know I am not perfect by any means, and I have let this stuff get away from me. So this was definitely something that needed to be done. I'm going to be listening to my mom's episodes with you guys as well. When it's my off week, I'm going to listen to hers and I'm going to clean with you because I need this deep cleaning series more than anybody. So, because I was definitely behind. So this is my spring cleaning as well. But I did previously do my kitchen overhaul in preparation of this episode. So this is what I did personally. And like I said, everybody's kitchen's different. Everybody's situation differs. So If you don't relate to something, that's fine. You can just move on to the next episode or do whatever does need focusing on. Because, again, every cabinet, it's the same concept. You take things out, put them into piles, wipe down, and then reinsert. So whatever situation you have going on, just follow along with me. And I continued this pattern with every one of my cabinets. So once you're done with your, I don't have that many pots and pans, so this part didn't take me entirely too long, but I was just throwing pots and pans in a cabinet, so it looked like doo-doo. So I definitely took everything out, put them in a way where the ones that I use every day were in the front and center, easy to get to, nicely organized so that it looks clean and pretty and accessible. And then I put the stuff that I don't use every day, my bigger pans, platters that I use for parties and what have you, pitchers, I put those in the back in the place where I don't usually, again, we don't want to dig for anything, but we want things that we use on a daily basis to be more accessible. And then it's hard for me to let go of things. I struggle with that. But if you have not used a pot and a pan for a year and you know you got a new one of the same thing, like say you have 3 saucepans and one of them has seen better days, and you know that you always grab the newer saucepan and you just don't need the other one anymore, just put that in the donation pile. Because a lot of times the reason why it's hard for us to keep things organized is because we have too much going on. We've got too much stuff, too many things in the cabinet, so definitely try to get rid of as much as possible. And one man's trash, as they say, is another man's treasure. You never know how much you could bless somebody with just your old kitchen appliances that you don't use anymore. And same thing goes for appliances. If you have a cabinet where you keep appliances, I had way too many coffee makers, coffee stuff. I had like one of those I have a Keurig, and then I have one of those old school coffee makers, for example. I've been holding on to this old school coffee maker that I broke the actual coffee cup, glass coffee thing, container. And I've been holding on to the other part of it for months now, thinking that I'm going to find another replacement someday. No, that needs to go in the trash. Why am I holding on to that? So that's something, for example, that I threw away, because I'm never going to get another one. It's cheaper just to buy a whole new coffee maker. I already have a Keurig. Why am I holding on to this? So that I tossed because I'm a hoarder. That was weird. So I threw that away. Just stuff like that, guys. And when it comes to the pantry, same thing. Now, with the pantry, I've talked about this before. My mom has these cute little fixtures, and if you have small kids, this can be, or younger kids or teenagers, because they make messes too, keeping cereal in a plastic container, those plastic containers to put cereal in with the little plastic tops that open up to a hole that you could pour the cereal. Those are very convenient, a lot less messy. They preserve things for a lot longer. My mom got a bunch of those, put all of her cereals in it. Every time she gets new cereal, she'll replace them. If you need to get clips, if you don't already have like these little cheap clips you can get anywhere, Dollar Tree probably, for your chips and whatnot, bags of chips. If you don't have those containers, just keep clips on everything. But I love the plastic container idea. I love putting stuff in unnecessary containers when they were already in containers, because it just looks better in the cabinet. So if you want to do all that, you could definitely do that. But As far as me, I did not do that this time. I do have the containers for my cereal, but that's it. Eventually, I will have containers for a lot more for my sugar, flour, stuff like that in the future. But for now, I just have those little claw clips closing them. But for the pantry, same song and dance. You take everything out of the pantry little by little, sort them into piles. If you have, for example, I had multiple brown sugars that were open and had clips on them, but one of them was super old. So why did I still have, sometimes you buy something, you don't realize you have it because it's in the back of your cabinet. I had 3 brown sugars, so 2 of those got tossed because who knows how old they were, and the one that I actually used, of course, I kept. And if anything needs to get wiped down, wipe it down, because we don't want to put anything messy back in. Honey containers, syrup containers, what have you, make sure those are wiped down before we're putting them back in the cabinets. And once you have gotten everything off of your shelving and sorted into piles of expired, which expired stuff can just go in the trash. If you have canned goods that you're never going to get to, you can donate those. That could go in a donate pile with your pots and pans that you're getting rid of. And then a keeping pile that's going to get wiped down and put back. And again, once everything's out, give a wipe down of your pantry. And some people's pantries are huge, some are smaller, but the pantry is going to take a little while. So, of course, if you need to pause, rewind, completely understand. And this is probably going to have to be another part because my kitchen took me a while and I don't want to rush anything. So the kitchen is probably going to be a 2-parter, but I'm just going to finish up the pantry with you guys, and then I'm going to try to do an episode Sunday that's going to be the second part, which is going to be the remainder of the cabinets that we need to cover that I did last time. It's just going to be a little mini episode covering the rest of the kitchen. We'll do that Sunday, but let's finish out the pantry for now because the pantry was a huge project for me. I had way too much going on in the pantry. And as I was putting things back in to the pantry after I wiped down all of the shelving, I put them into categories. So all of the vegetable canned goods were in one category, for example, one section of the cabinet, easy to get to, accessible. All of my canned fruits, same thing. Canned goods were all on one shelf. Baking goods were on a top shelf, so my kids cannot get to the sugar or anything like that. I always put snacks in a top shelf as well because I have small children and I don't want them to be able to get the snacks. So those baking goods go on the very, very top shelf because we don't want them getting into the flour and stuff like that, for me anyway. And again, whatever phase of life you're in, your organization might be different, but the goal of the organization is accessible, easy to get to, and able to see everything. Those are the goals when organizing your pantry. So I put, baking goods on top. Then I had snacks, like for her school lunches, her little Cheez-Its, Goldfish, peanut butter crackers, just stuff like that. They eat the little foodies. We call them foodies. They're the pouch applesauces and stuff like that. I put that in the top as well because they'll eat them all in one day if they're down low. And then I put the canned goods at the bottom because they're not interested in canned goods and they can't open them anyway, so they're not going to make a mess with those. Well, I digress. When my daughter was little, she used to play with canned goods. Anyway, but she couldn't make a mess with them. She just used them like blocks when I was cooking sometimes. I'm not the perfect parent, but I try. We're all just trying. We're all in the same boat. Different phases of life, same boat. And then once you're happy with how it looks, you just move on to the next cabinet. And again, let's say you have a cabinet with rags or cleaning supplies in it. Same thing. Under my sink is where I keep all of my cleaning supplies. I had stuff that I never used that I could throw away, donate, whatever. I had a couple cleaning sprays that I was never going to use. I didn't like the smell of, so I put that in the donate pile. So underneath my kitchen sink, I just took everything out, chemicals, what have you, and I lied when I said I was going to end with the cabinet. I'm ending with this. So I took everything out of underneath the sink. And again, if you are still working on your pantry, that took me a good bit. So if you need to rewind and restart, completely understand. But I'm going to move on to underneath the sink now. So I took everything out, all of my chemicals out. What do I use on a daily? What needs to be wiped off? And be careful when you're wiping off chemicals, obviously, that you're not. I would probably just use a wet rag for this. That way we're not mixing any chemicals, fumes, stuff like that. Walmart has these cute little handy dandy cabinet locks that I have for underneath my sink. I have a little cabinet lock so that my kids can't get into the chemicals. They're super cool. My 5-year-old still hasn't figured those out, so those are great. I have one on my refrigerator too. My sister-in-law taught me about those. I'll have to post a picture of it on Facebook or something. But yeah, again, take everything out, organize it accordingly based on accessibility, what you use on a daily basis. So whatever you use most, you want that at the forefront. And I like to have extra sponges in there because I use that when I do the dishes. I like having some extra of the reusable or replaceable sponge heads for my sponge that dispenses soap that I use for doing the dishes, and also I have a separate sponge of the same type that I use for the bathroom. So I like to have the replaceable sponge heads for the kitchen in that cabinet, so I keep the replaceable ones there. All of my wipes, Clorox wipes and stuff. I have all of my sprays, bleaches, anything bad that the kids can get. I have them all in there because it's a locked cabinet. So I organize them accordingly how I want them to be put back, my trash bags, etc. Give a quick wipe down to the area first with a wet rag before I put everything back in. And then I organize it. Stuff I don't use daily in the back, stuff that I use for deep cleans, and then stuff that I use every single day. I like to have a big dish soap, giant dish soap that I fill my smaller dish soap that I keep by the sink with. So that was at the forefront, along with the other cleaners that I use on a daily basis. And then that was the end of that. So I hope you guys got a little bit out of this. Like I said, I am going to do a part 2 because there's a lot to your kitchen. You've got a lot of different things going on. I hope that helped, though. I hope you got a lot done. If you need to rewind the episode, because I know I was not allotting a lot of time for cleaning out your pantry and stuff like that, of that nature, because it does take time, especially if you have not done it in a while. Mine definitely took some time. So whatever you have to do, completely understand. I will do a part 2 of the remainder of the kitchen. But I hope you guys got something good out of this. Again, we're going to keep going with, sorry about all the ums. We are going to keep going with this series until every area of the house has a deep cleaning episode, and then it will be posted in cleaningwithme.com under a category of deep cleaning episodes, so they're nice and easy to find. And once the whole series is over with, you can pick and choose whatever one you need when you need a reset of a certain area, and it will be great. And then once the series is over, we will go back to our typical 1-hour cleans or 20-minute rescues. We might I think we decided that we might take a break after a couple of these and do a whole house rescue just so you guys still get some of that as well. But I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you got a lot finished. I hope you got as much accomplished as you possibly can. Again, rewind if you need to. But as always, happy cleaning, and I'll see you guys later.